everyone. This is Samantha Hodges reporting to you with the 7 o'clock news on Channel 5 WKTA.
And I'm her co-anchor, Maya Keel.
Tonight's breaking news concerns Inez Del Rio, who was released from prison after serving a 36-year sentence for her involvement in terrorist bombing efforts in association with ETA. Despite being sentenced to over 3,000 years in prison, based on Spain's penal code, she should have only served a 30-year sentence. With reductions to her sentence based on good behavior and other various factors, she would have been released in 2008. However, the Parot Doctrine of 2006 caused her sentence to be extended by applying the reductions to her original 3,000-year sentence. After much deliberation, her release was demanded by the European Court of Human Rights, which condemned Spain for the Parot Doctrine. So far, the court has only applied this type of ruling to Del Rio, but the Spanish government expects it to apply to other imprisoned ETA members. We'll update you on this story as we get more information.
And in today's sports news, Barcelona recently defeated Real Madrid in a fierce competition. It was a very close match, with both teams playing intense defense while aggressively attacking their opponents' goals. Cristiano Ronaldo struggled to bring Real Madrid together to victory nearing the end of the game. For those of you highlight enthusiasts, have no fear. This weekend marks the 89th annual Urdangarin tournament in Donostia. A fun but competitive time will be had by all. We'll bring you the results next week.
We have an exciting presentation from Dolores Esquivel, an archaeologist from the province of Navarra in Basque Country. Dolores, and welcome to Channel 5 News. We're so glad we could have you here today.
And I'm so glad to be here with you to share my knowledge about megaliths.
We would love to hear a brief description of what exactly a megalith is, and I'm sure our viewers would appreciate that as well.
Of course, Samantha, it would be my pleasure.
First, why don't we sit down?
Sure. Megaliths were built many years ago during the Neolithic period up until the end of the Bronze Age. A typical dolmen megalith would serve as a family tomb. Many archaeologists currently hypothesize that. They were usually constructed using 3 to 4 large slabs of stone. In the Basque region of Spain, the more basic megaliths are located in the mountainous regions like Nevada, while the more complex tomb megaliths that contain entryways and corridors tend to be found in flat regions of the Basque Country. Another type of megalith is the cromlech, which is a circle of arranged stones. Chrome means circle and lech means plaza, based on a language that was spoken in the region of Brittany, France that borders the English Channel. Usually slabs or square rocks are arranged around the burned remains of Basque loved ones, most of which are believed to have been pastors in the Euskal Herria region. They are mainly traced back to the millennium before Christ by archaeologists who have previously studied them. Cromlechs are grouped together, and the largest grouping of them is in Basque Country, is in Okabe, where there are 25 cromlechs together. The last type of megalith is called a menhide, which is a long, upright, singular rock that can be found throughout Nevada and Gipuzkoa. The explanation for menhire structures is still largely unknown.
Wow, that was a very thorough explanation. Thank you very much for that. Now I'd like to ask you to just clarify or address in more detail why these megaliths were built in the Basque region and somewhat throughout Europe.
Sure. For the Basques, megaliths in general are hypothesized to have been built for funerary purposes. Dolmen megaliths very closely resemble modern-day family crypts that you could see in any modern cemetery. Cromlechs are believed to have been protective circles of stones that surrounded Basque family members that have passed. This conclusion has been reached because archaeologists have found ash remains in the center of many cromlechs. The Basques saw megaliths as a method of preserving the remains of loved ones because it provided a sort of memorial site for them that could be revisited many years after their death. In the Basque region, there are groupings of cromlechs which could be seen also as the basis of modern-day cemeteries, as I previously mentioned. The famous artist and Basque author Jorge Oteiza has postulated that cromlechs were the embodiment of a religious space for the Basque people. He also claims that cromlechs can be viewed as a physical structure that represents the metaphysical state of man, or as he likes to refer to it, as one's soul covered. He also says cromlechs are reflections of the personality of the Basque individual. The oval shape of a cromlech reminds Oteiza of the number 0, which represents the spiritual silence that Oteiza believes to be vital for direct communication with God.
It's interesting to me that for the Basques, cromlechs and megaliths are not related to light and sun, since these were such crucial parts of early Basque culture.
Interesting that you mentioned the concept of light related to megaliths. If we speak of cromlechs in terms of Stonehenge, we will discover that this structure was built for astronomical purposes, some hypothesize. The English aligned Stonehenge with the midsummer sunrise, midwinter sunset, and the most southerly and northerly settings of the moon. It's believed that the English based multiple festivals around these times of the year, so Stonehenge is hypothesized to have been a sort of timing device, for them. Other archaeologists claim that the structures such as Stonehenge served as locations for festivals and rituals. Prehistorians have also ventured that there existed megalith missionaries that traveled along the Atlantic Ocean, bringing religion and their megalith monuments with them. Others claim that fishermen who were pursuing migratory fish brought their new technology to communities through which they traveled. Others also claim that fishermen who were pursuing migratory fish brought their new technology to communities through which they traveled, which would explain the distribution of megaliths throughout Europe, including the Basque region. Megaliths are also believed to have symbolized the relationship between nature and culture for the Basques that lived long ago. The way megaliths interact with their landscape and occasionally provide an improved outlook on a specific geographical element of nature displays the direct link between nature and culture for the Basque people, past and present. Archaeologists and prehistorians will reiterate the fact that it is vital to recognize that the purpose of each megalith depends on its geographical and cultural context, so it's very challenging to generalize the purpose of all megaliths worldwide.
That makes sense. And it's really very interesting to hear about these possible theories to explain megaliths because they've always been so surrounded by mystery to me. Before we wrap up our interview, I was hoping that you could show me and our viewers some of the megaliths that are located in the Basque region of Spain.
Sure, of course, I'd love to. The first one I'd like to show you is called Aitzate 1, or Uno. It's located in Donostia and San Sebastian, and here are some photos of this megalith, which was classified as a cromlech. It dates back to the Iron Age. Here's a second megalith. It's called Abalari, and it's located in Urnieta, dating back to the Neolithic age. It's classified as a dolmen that was discovered in 1963, and here are some photos of it. The last megalith I would like to show you is located in Namco-Munid, and it's referred to as Arui. This type of megalith is called a monolito, and it may look just like a rock to you, but to an archaeologist such as myself, this would be a fascinating discovery. So here are some photos of this one. And that's all the megaliths I have for you today.
Thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge about megaliths with us. I really appreciated it and enjoyed learning about something so historically significant to the Basques. Thanks again, Dolores. We loved having you here at Channel 5. And now for the weather report. The high tomorrow is 21 degrees Celsius with a 20% chance of rain, so get outside while you can. The rest of the week from Tuesday to Saturday should be pretty rainy with a 60% chance of precipitation Tuesday through Friday. Hopefully it will clear up by Saturday and reach a 25 degrees Celsius high. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you at 11 with our final news report of the day. My name is Samantha Hodges, and this has been the WKTA 7 o'clock Channel 5 News.